Yo, yo. Hopefully the audio is not going to be interrupted. Need secondary screen. There we go. I don't even know if anybody's going to show up to this. Just decided to randomly do a stream. Jacob, what's good, man? Sorry, guys. Hold on a second. Nathaniel. Jonas. Coco, Kenny, Brian. Okay, so there's a Kyle. There's a bunch of people in here. I don't know. I just felt like chatting it up with you guys for a little bit. Just felt like chatting it up. Hope you're having a good Sunday as well, Glenn. You watch every video, Nathaniel. Thank you. Appreciate that. Omar, best guy. Let's go. Thank you. Your 18th is tomorrow, Chris. Well, happy birthday, Chris. Hopefully you have a good birthday. You know, I just thought I'd hop on and see what you guys are saying about the Leafs, what you think could potentially happen. Toronto fan in India. Wow, that's really cool. Thank you so much for watching. Coco, just started listening to you. Figured I could add another option other than Dangle. Well, I appreciate that because Dangle's a pretty solid option. People are saying Nylander will get traded. Asud Anderson. What up? The game. Honestly, I don't think they're gonna trade Nylander, but I think a lot of people are confused. The Sporty Mouse, you're the best. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think a lot of people are confused on the Nylander situation. I think a lot of people have a bias when it comes to disliking him because, like, every year, the Leaf fans, like, they pick a guy that they can't stand, and then they just hate on that person regardless of if they're good or not. It's just the thing that Leaf fans have done forever. And Nylander's the new whipping boy because of the contract. The problem is first of all, and I tried explaining this in my other video, is that the Nylander contract has nothing to do with this season. Like, absolutely nothing. Like, the Leafs could sign Matthews and Nylander to an extension, and it doesn't affect the cap this year. Like, people think that Nylander and Matthews need a new deal for this year. Well, no, they don't. They already have a contract. They're already signed, but they need one for next year. And with Nylander's situation, people are looking at the Austin Matthews. People are looking at the Austin Matthews situation and going, well, Matthews is going to sign 5 years for less than his market value. Okay, that's good. The reason why it's lower and it's going to be lower is because Matthews isn't giving the Leafs a full 8-year term. So the Leafs are getting screwed a little bit in terms of the term, but they're also getting a little bit of cap relief currently because they're not going to have to pay him $15 million next season. They're going to pay him 13. Whereas with Nylander wants a full 8-year contract, right? So it's been widely reported that Nylander doesn't want to go anywhere and he wants to stick around for 8 years. Now, the problem with that is that means the Leafs have to pay up for all those extra years that Matthews wants or that Nylander wants. So if Nylander is going to sign for 8 years, Of course he's going to want 10 million because in 3 years the cap's going to go up in 10 million dollars because it's been widely reported that it's going to go up like $4.5 million next season. And then after that, it's going to go up another two or three. And then after that, it's going to go up another two or three. Like it's so what Nylander's agent is doing is saying, look, the cap's going to go up by the time his deal is up in 5 years or 6 years or 7 years or 8 years. It's going to be this much. It's not if, it's when the cap goes up. The cap's definitely going up. Like knock on wood that we don't get another pandemic. The cap is going up. Like it's been reported by every well-known reporter. It's going up like 10 million in the next 3 years. The league has no choice. They have to because they're making enough money for it to go up. They're just being stupid for this season because of COVID, right? Um like in 8 years, the cap is going to be substantially different, right? It's going to be like over $100 million. So what's happening is Nylander's agent is going, well, I'm not giving you a discount now for 8 years because he's gonna he's gonna want that big money like for that whole contract because there's gonna be players of Nylander's caliber that are gonna be making like $12 million um on their next deal because the cap's gonna go up, right? Yeah, I don't see how the Leafs get him under $9 million unless they literally sign him for like 4 years. Nylander, if I'm William Nylander, I go, okay, fine. I'll give you 5 years at $8.8 million, and then just call it a day. Sign him, get on with it. JT, he's not going anywhere. He's a full no move clause. Same thing with Marner. Marner has a full no move clause now, guys. He's going nowhere. He dictates whether or not he gets traded. Tavares and Marner are Leafs for life. Tavares will play the rest of his deal out and he'll sign league min after that. Same Mitch Marner, he's going to be a Leaf for as long as he wants to. The Leafs are far from done. Um, Larceny number 30. Hello, Andrew. How are you? I'm doing good. How are you? Thank you for coming. See, I don't understand this TJ Brody talk. I really don't. Like, I there was a few rough games in the playoffs, and people were like, "Oh my god, get rid of him." But it's like, dude, like he was so damn good. Like, I don't understand the TJ Brody talk. I really don't. I thought he was absolutely fantastic for the Leafs, and he still is. Now, yeah, but slow and aging. I mean, God, he was so good last season. He got burnt out in the playoffs because the Leafs were playing him so much. Yeah, and this is the thing, Robert, Toronto media. I'm just gonna give you guys a little bit of a heads up on that whole TJ Brody situation. It has been brought to a lot of people's attention that one certain reporter, Frank Saravalli, and again, no disrespect to him, but he made up something where he said that TJ Brody could potentially get bought out, right? And everybody ran with it and started creating narratives about TJ Brody being traded or bought out. And then every source proceeded to say that the Leafs have zero interest in doing that. Like nobody in the Leafs organization has any interest in getting rid of TJ Brody. And I'm going to tell you, I don't have the best sources, but I have some sources that have told me some things in years past. And I'm going to tell you, there is absolutely no truth to TJ Brody being bought out or anything like that. It's just they put a name out there and they know the Toronto media will just eat it up. Aliana, what are you doing? You should be sleeping. Brody will not be bought out. He will not be bought out because the thing is that TJ Brody also has positive trade value. Like, people forget that he actually has good trade value. Like, other teams around the league know that he's good. Like, he's not bad anymore. That's not true. MCM, it's been reported that if the Leafs won, and this was straight out of Elliot Friedman's mouth, they said if the Leafs were interested in trading TJ Brody, there's already been teams that are interested in trading for him for positive trade value. Like, we're talking like third or fourth round picks for TJ Brody, which not bad, which isn't bad. Like, this is where I need to flip the question to you. So let's say you get rid of TJ Brody, right? Who do you get in return? Like, who's the defenseman that eats up 25 minutes a night, plays on your penalty kill, and gives you a decent amount of points? Like, who are you getting for less than $5 million? Matt Dumba is awful defensively. So bad. Like, I hope people understand that. Super, super bad. Like, he is not good defensively. Chris, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Guys, you're saying TJ Brody. Why or Matt Dumba? Why hasn't anybody signed Matt Dumba yet? Because nobody freaking wants him. Because he wants a lot of money to not play defense. I'm sorry. That's the truth. Like, you guys are saying, get rid of TJ Brody. God, teams want TJ Brody. Matt Dumba is sitting on the open market for free and nobody wants him. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's just the truth. And I like Matt Dumba. He doesn't play defense. He throws a few hits here and there and gives you a few points here and there. So what? You want Justin Hall back? Is that what you're saying? Because we might as well just get Justin Hall. You'd rather Dumba over Brody. Boy, oh boy, let me tell you something. Just just watch Matt Dumba play and then look at his statistics. Jesus Christ. He cannot play defense. Like, you want to talk about giveaways? Good God almighty. Matt Dumba. TJ Brody is far better than Matt Dumba. Far better. I don't think Domi's starting in the top 6. I think Matthew Nyes is, to be honest with you. Okay, so last year, so Matt Dumba is an offensive defenseman, right? And he gave Minnesota, amazing team last year, 14 points. So we're talking his job is to be an offensive defenseman. That's Matt Dumba's job, is to hit people and put up points. And what I say? He put up 14 points on a really, really good Minnesota team in 79 games, right? Last year, TJ Brody in only 58 games had 14 points, the same amount of points as Matt Dumba in like 20 less games. Why are we asking for Matt Dumba? And TJ Brody was a plus 10. Matt Dumba was a minus 8. Why are we saying Matt Dumba? That makes no sense to me. Like, how many, like, I'd love to know how many hits Matt Dumba threw. Yeah, I think Shen was a good fit, but it's I don't know. Like, his contract was too much money. So Matt Dumba also averaged an average ice time of 21 minutes. I don't understand why people want to get rid of TJ Brody. I don't get it. I really don't get it, man. Like, you guys are acting like he's like an old man. He's 33 years old. Yeah, DeBrincat got traded. Okay, so TJ Brody averaged the same amount of ice time as Matt Dumba and put up more as points per game, put up more points per game, and he's supposed to not be an offensive defenseman. His Corsi. Yeah, and then his Corsi was 40 was better than, Matt Dumba's as well. Yeah, like, you're not like, you have to understand, you have to replace those minutes. The fact that DeBrincat left Ottawa and they could have signed him, DeBrincat didn't wanna play in Ottawa. Matt Dumba, like, again, I don't understand the hits and fights things, he barely does that anymore. Matt Dumba had 1 fight last year. He fought once. So how is he a fighter? He fought 1 time. In 2023, he had 1 fight. If we're talking 22, 23, he had 4 fights and 2 of them weren't even considered fights. If you're going for, like, physicality and defense and, like, an all-around defenseman, you have to go after, like, somebody like Brett Pesce. Yeah, well, Justin Hall's gone too, so it's like, we don't need Justin Hall. If you're looking at, like, actually getting a defenseman, why are you going to the bargain bin with Matt Dumba? Like, go after somebody who actually plays a solid defensive game. Exactly. Do good, I'm pretty sure Brody and Gio were just burnt out and lost steam. Dude, that's literally 100%. And no, Parayko kinda fell off a little bit. His no Dude, I hate these statistic websites, man. None of them have anything. He burns out going to the rink. I think MCM, listen, I respect everybody's opinion, but I think you just don't like TJ Brody. Because I would trade TJ Brody only unless I knew that the Leafs were getting back somebody in return that was at the same amount of defensive ability as him or more if you're in a package or something. See, but, like, if you get rid of TJ, somebody said Brody is so mediocre. I don't get how that's possible. If you get rid of TJ Brody, the Leafs literally get absolutely shit on in the first round. Like, they had nobody playing defense. The Leafs the Leafs blue line got saved by Morgan Riley just going crazy on offense. Yeah, Alexiak much better if you're talking physicality. That doesn't make Brody good. No, that's what I'm saying is that TJ Brody was the only one playing defense. Him and McCabe got shit on with how many minutes that they played in the defensive zone because nobody else can play defense on that team. You got absolutely pummeled by because nobody else plays defense. You want to put Justin Hall and Morgan Riley in the defensive zone? Be my guest. The Leafs would have got pumped. The Leafs would have got pumped if you would have started them in the defensive zone. Carlson? Jesus Christ. They don't have to get rid of they don't have to get rid of TJ Brody because of the cap. You guys do realize the Leafs can get out of the cap by just trading or burying Connor Timmins and buying out Matt Murray or trading him and then sending down one of their other minor league players like Holmberg or something. Like the Leafs aren't in that much of cap strain like everybody thinks. You just have to look. You just have to look. Like you don't have to trade TJ Brody. Like, I'll go on Cap Friendly right now. And Samsonov's not getting $4 million. They can't. They can't give him 4 million because he's had one good season. Like, people seem to forget Samsonov literally hasn't played a full season. He keeps getting injured. I think you're gonna get him at like 3.7, maybe 3.5. That's my guess. Getting Pesci, Hannafin, and Parayko would probably take a Nylander trade. If you're trading William Nylander, you have to get a forward and a defenseman back. I think it's fair to give him 3.7 in terms of Samsonov. Okay, so right now, if we're looking at the Leafs, they are negative $3.2 million in cap space, and that's with an extra forward on the roster, right? So what's gonna happen is hold on a second. I'm just trying to make it work so I can see what I'm working with here. So we should make me GM. Jesus Christ, they would never win. I'm just a dude that makes assumptions in front of the computer. I'm not saying I know shit from anybody else. This is just my opinion. Hold on. I'm getting a call. Hello? I'm live on YouTube currently. That's okay. Okay, thank you. Love you too. Bye. Anyways, that was my mom. Sorry about that. So, anyways, the Leafs are over the cap by $3.2 million. By the way, always answer the phone if it's your mother. If there's young kids in here, answer the damn phone if your mother calls you. Because I seen the ways, and I'm sure there's some older people in here. Like, I turned 27 on Wednesday. I see the way kids talk to their mothers these days. I would slap the shit out of my kids. I don't have no kids yet, but I'm sure some adults in here agree with me. Do you see the way some of these kids talk to their family these days because they're so stuck in front of a damn phone? Jesus Christ. Don't even get me started. Like, ridiculous. Anyways, that's a completely different situation. Um if we're talking about the Leafs, all right? They're over the cap by $3.2 million, and I see people agreeing with me. I appreciate that. So, Dylan Gambrell, you're down in the minors. You're not playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I hate to say it. So that puts them at negative $2.4 million, right? So now they have an extra defenseman on the roster, right? Um, Connor Timmins is getting traded or being buried in the minors. That's $1.1 million off the books. That puts the Leafs negative 1.3 million over the cap, right? Now, we forgot that somebody is still on IR, which is Nick Robertson. So if you move him into there, guess who's getting traded in my eyes? Sam Lafferty, who is $1.15 million. I think he's getting traded. So I'm going to slide him right into that spot. So now the Leafs have a full forward core, right? They have 6 defensemen and they've got 2 goalies, and one of them being Matt Murray. So let's say Matt Murray gets traded. That leaves the Leafs with $4.5 million in cap space to sign Ilya Samsonov. They're cap compliant. So yeah, they'll have 12 forwards, 6 defensemen, and they still have a spot for a goalie. Now, mind you, they're probably going to want an extra forward, right? This is where it gets you have to get a little bit creative, right? So if you don't want to trade Lafferty, do you trade Calle Yarncrook, who's $2.1 million to save yourself a little bit of money? I don't know if you do that because Yarncrook has been good. But all I'm saying is for people saying they have to trade Nylander to be cap compliant, that's not true. They can be cap compliant without trading William Nylander. So the answer to that is no, they don't have to. Brody won't be here at opening night. I don't get the Brody talk, man. You can put TJ Brody has 1 more year left. Why wouldn't you guys just put him on the second pairing and let him be a guy that shuts down second and third lines? Like I don't see why you don't do that. Earlier somebody asked me what I was drinking, the BioSteel. This like ice pop one is so good. Now I see a lot of people are like, "Oh, trade for Pesci and whatever else," right? So like I said, Brett Pesci, I would trade for him only or I would trade him for, like, I would trade Nylander for a package with him in it. Um, he's at $4,000,000, but he's only got 1 more year left, right? So if you trade for a guy like Brett Pesci, him and Willie only got a year left. If Pesci doesn't wanna stay, you've traded Nylander for a guy that doesn't wanna stay. Um, yeah, and Pesci isn't overly physical. Yeah, but the thing is, though, if we're just talking about playing great defense, I mean, I think every team in the league would want Brett Pesci. And that's the other thing that Steve just said. You're not gonna get fair value for William Nylander. All my Red Wings fans, that are fans, all my friends that are Red Wings fans are texting me about the DeBrincat trade. Man, I wish the Leafs kinda went in on him, I'm not gonna lie. Dude, why do you want Erik Karlsson? You wanna talk about playing defense? That guy does not know what the word defense is. If you tell Erik Karlsson to play defense, he's not gonna know what you're talking about. Like, you tell Erik Karlsson, "Oh, go play at the blue line." He'll say, "What's a blue line?" Because all he's doing is crashing the damn net. There's no saving this team defensively. Bro, the Leafs weren't even bad defensively. Guys, did anybody watch the damn series against Florida? They couldn't score. That like Joseph Woll kept them in the games. They weren't that bad defensively. Like they can't score. Like they weren't even that bad defensively. Carlson will help score for $11 million. That's too much money, guys. And like, who knows if Carlson just gave you a one-off season? Like, we don't even know if he's actually going to be that good again. Like, that might have been a one-off season. They need Demon who could move the puck and make a first pass. Yeah, they do, but not an $11 million one. Oh, not Tyler Myers. Please, God, no. Yeah, he was a demon for the Sens. Jesus Christ. You remember Carlson on the Sens? Oh my God, he was so good. Can I make a point to you guys, though? Don't you think it's kind of weird that, and I'm not going to touch too much on this topic because it's too much of a headache, but William Nylander, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, and Shanahan and Keefe are all still here. Kyle Dubas being the guy that got let go out of all of those people is kind of concerning in my eyes. I'm so sorry, but the Leafs played hardball with only Kyle Dubas. Out of all of the contracts that they've signed, they played hardball with Kyle Dubas. I find it so funny. Zadorov is not as good as people think he is. He throws one good hit every once in a while, and people think he's a good defenseman. I think he's good, but he's not really that good. Dubas wanted Shanny's job. He lost. Actually, Dubas wanted Shanny's job, got it in Pittsburgh, and got more money. Dubas is getting paid more than Shanahan in Pittsburgh for a longer deal. So he actually did get what he wanted. That's the truth. He got what he wanted. As much as people want to hate Kyle Dubas, we got we got some good hockey, man, out of the Leafs. That team was garbage for so many years. He gave us at least a competitive team, man. I gotta give him some credit. How many does Nye score? I think it's fair to say I think Nyes could pot 20. And I'm just gonna let you guys know. And again, my sources are my sources, the people that I hear from. I'm not saying I have amazing sources, but from what's being told from Leafland is that Dubas and Shanahan did have some problems. Nothing crazy, but they had some problems, and part of it was because Shanahan wants to run the show. What people are saying is that Shanahan hired a guy in Trey Living who was just Calgary's upper management's bitch in Calgary because Brad Tree Living was run by the owners of Calgary. They're saying that Shanahan brought in another guy that he could just tell him what to do. So I'm not even sure if the guy making all these moves is actually Trey Living or if it's Shanahan because apparently Shanahan likes to call his own shots and that's it. I think Max Domi will pot like 15 this year. I don't think you'll get much more than that. If Tyler Bertuzzi stays healthy, I think he can pot 30 goals. Colton Parayko is a little bit overrated. Used to watch Bertuzzi on the Storm. So did I. Went to a lot of Storm games. I had history class with that kid. Yeah, and see that's the other thing. How do you replace 40 goals if you trade William Nylander? Yeah, Lourdes. Wait, hold up. MCM. What school did you go to? Oh, BM. Come on, man. You went to BM? So what? Do your family have money like the rest of the kids at BM or what? Huh. Good to know. Well, third safest city in the world. Guelph. No. You went to BM? Bro, how many people are here from Guelph? Wait, is there like an audience from Guelph here? I'm close to Guelph. U of G alumni. Dude, what? That's crazy. Yeah, put in the chat. Like, I know some people might not want to say where they're from, but like, I mean, it's a safe place here, I would think. Dude, what the hell? How many people here from Guelph? That's crazy. Dude, why haven't a bunch of people just gotten together to watch some hockey, man? Like, we should go to a friggin' Storm game or something. Or you know what? Like, I meant to ask this. I meant to ask this. Wow, there's a lot of places that are close to me. Like, would anybody be interested in, like, getting a bunch of people that watch the videos, but, like, we're all Leaf fans, but, like, would a lot of people be interested in, like, just, like, going to a Marlies game or something and, like, just, like, getting, like, 3 rows full of people and we just, like, shoot the shit and watch the hockey game? I think that'd be a good idea, man. I don't know. Like, I think that that'd be sick. Yeah, living in Toronto, no shot. I wanted to live there when I was younger. That's not gonna happen. Sorry, I had to fix the camera. Like, what I wanted to originally do was, like, you know how, like, Steve Dangle does an event where, like, they go to, like, they, like, go to a bar. I don't drink at all, like, I don't drink alcohol, but, like, go to a bar and, like, have, like, a stage with mics and, like, just talk hockey. I wanna do something like that. I just don't think I have like, I obviously don't have the same, excuse me, I don't have the same support as Dangle, obviously. Like, I don't have the same audience, as many people, not even remotely close. But, like, I feel like that'd be something, like, super dope to just, like, go there and watch a hockey game and, like, talk about, the videos and, like, talk about our thoughts and agree and disagree on a lot of things. Your stepdad is the guy at the Marlies with the drum. No way. I see that every time I go to a Marlies game, I see that guy. Dude, what a small world. Well, in terms of the Nylander stuff, yeah, there's apparently there's been lots of interest, but in Nylander, like people contacting, but like the word out there is that the Leafs want to keep him, but I don't know. Terry 3Gs. Appreciate the message. Appreciate that. His name is Mike. Okay. I've been to a London Knights game. It's a big arena, actually. Dude, okay, am I tripping or is that the DeBrincat trade like garbage? I don't think it necessarily helps. I don't think the DeBrincat contract helps the Leafs. Bro, dude, Ottawa got fleeced. That's an awful, awful trade. So, the full trade, hold on. It's like, okay, Dominic Kubalik, Donovan Sabrango, who's a prospect, a conditional 2024 first, and a fourth rounder. Like, the best thing they got in there was the a conditional first. Dude, that's terrible. Like, that's awful. I don't know why Ottawa would think that that's like, that's, like, the comparison of the Leafs, like, trading Nick Robertson a first and, like, a 3rd round pick. Like, the Leafs coulda made that deal if they didn't have if they had cap space. Like, that's not a big trade. Like, yeah, the Senators, like, when they got DeBrincat, I was like, "Holy crap." I was like, "That's good." And then I was like, why is he not signing long term?" And then it was like, "Oh, he doesn't wanna play there." Okay. Let me look at DeBrincat's numbers, 'cause this is probably gonna be a comparison to Nylander, I'm sure. Let's look at his numbers. So, last year he had 27 goals. Like, last year, William Nylander outscored DeBrincat by a lot. Like, Nylander had 87 points last year, right? DeBrincat's a good hockey player, man. I don't know. I think this is why when I show people this number, if you're gonna get Willie, you have to get him for like 4 or 5 years. Like Nylander's contract, you could get him at like 8.5, 8.6 for like 4 or 5 years, I think. I would do that. Just get him done, get him to 4 or 5 years. Just get it over with. Give him 8.5 and call it a day. Might be a little bit, maybe 8.7, and then give him 4 or 5 years and just call it a day. Morgan, I play for Guelph basketball for Special Olympics. Morgan, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Basketball, that's a tough sport. That's a very tough sport. A lot of cardio, a lot of endurance. Well, yeah, Willie wants 10 million on 8 years. See, this is what I'm trying to explain to people. If you're buying more years of his free agency, if you're buying more years of long term, if you're buying more years, you have to pay more in this case because the cap is going up. So players are saying, "Give me 3 or 4 years." Hence the DeBrincat deal that he just got 4 years is because players are saying, "In 3 or 4 years, I'm gonna get way more money than that because the cap is going up." Because the cap percentage means something to these players. So in 8 years, if the cap has gone up by $20 million, William Nylander is gonna say, hello, I'm not worth 8 million in 8 years. I'm worth 8 million now." So Willie is asking for this big money because he wants to stay for 8 years. So if you give him 4 or 5, you're gonna get him at a cheaper number. That's what's gonna happen because of the cap going up. So wondering if you know any good sources where I can buy a fake Leaf jersey. I could buy a fake Leaf jersey. Um, a lot of people on Facebook Marketplace sell fake jerseys. Like Facebook Marketplace has fake jerseys all the time. Mm, DH gate, that's true. So Willie plays European ice soccer and isn't worth a dime in the playoffs. William Nylander has 40 points in 50 playoff games. I mean, I don't know what else to say. And like not every player is built tough, unfortunately. Like what's been the Leafs' biggest problem? They can't score. So let's get rid of the guy that has 40 goals in 50 or 40 points in 50 games. Like if the Leafs can't score, why are we eliminating more scoring? Like I don't get it. Holy shit. M&H Crush, thank you so much for the donation. That's really nice of you. Do you think Nylander's agent is furious with DeBrincats? Um, Potentially, because DeBrincat's a really good player, and he scores a lot, much like William Nylander does. But I'm not too sure that it really has an effect on Willie's deal, because if Willie wants a 4 or 5-year deal, he's gonna have to come down in money much like DeBrincat did. So I think if DeBrincat got 7 or 8 years, which he can't get 8 because, he has to sign with whatever and then get traded, but I think I think that if DeBrincat went to 7 years, that number would have been much higher, like it's been reported. So that's why I keep saying Nylander's agent is trying to get the Leafs to get him to a higher number if he wants 8 years, which is what he wants. So what's going to happen is it's going to come down to a 4 or 5 year deal, and it's going to look something like 8.5 or 8.6 or 8.7 or something like that. It's not even going to be at that number, because in those 4 or 5 years, then Nylander's going to ask for $11 million, because that's going to be the going rate for every player. It's gonna be the going rate for every player that gives you 30 or 40 goals in 4 or 5 years. That it on with the cap going up, that's what's gonna happen. But again, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate that. That that's super nice of you. Thank you. Well, and that's the thing. By the time he's 32, who knows what the number will look like. Um, but again, you don't have to keep him at that point. It's just keeping him during his prime years for a lower number. So if you can get him in his prime the next 4 or 5 years at 8.7 or something, I think the Leafs would sign that no problem. I even think they would do it for 9. Yeah, he must have went to BM. It's a good one. It's a very good one. Um, yeah. So, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, before I get off here, just if you could listen to anything here, I've been posting a lot of content lately, and the reason why I've been doing that is because, first of all, I love it. YouTube is the thing I want to do most of the time, and I have multiple YouTube channels that are part of my income every month. Um, but as I'm sure you guys know, being adults, the way inflation has gone for, cost of living, food, whatever. Um, it's for me to do this full time. It's gonna take a lot. And oh my God, M&H Crush, thank you so much. You really didn't have to do that. P.S. Love your stuff. Keep being you. Thank you. Like, genuinely, thank you so much. Like, you really didn't have to do that. Keep your money. Thank you. Just keep it, please. I genuinely appreciate it. You guys don't have to pay me for anything. So thank you. But I'm trying to make this my full-time gig. So the support is very, very nice, and I appreciate it. So I want to post as much content as possible. I want to give you guys a ton of content. Um, but it's gonna take a lot. Um, Now my camera's dying, which is not good. Anyways, so that's probably gonna mean I'm gonna have to go. Unfortunately, my camera decided it is no longer gonna work. But again, M&H Crush, thank you so much for the donation. But um, yeah, I just I'm passionate about this stuff, and like, some people might agree with me, some people might disagree. It's That's fine. I really I really I really want to give you guys as much content as possible. Somebody said should look to a gambling sponsor. I thought about it, but I have a lot of kids that watch these videos, and the last thing I want to do is tell kids to gamble. Um so I've been on the fence about making money telling kids to gamble, because I know there's kids that watch these videos, and I don't want to put that in their head. But ever need tickets to Marley's, hit me up. And season ticket holder since the move from St. John's. Hey, listen, thank you so much. That's really kind of you. So yeah. And somebody said don't sell out. It's If I want to make this my job full time, I don't consider promoting something, selling out. It's if it's part of my job and it's actually good, um, like the brand is reputable, then it's fine. But if it's just some random gambling company, then I'm not gonna do it. Like if it's a company that actually knows what they're doing, then fine. Anyways, I'm gonna head out. I appreciate all the support, and if I could ask you guys anything, is just to like the videos and subscribe and tell your friends about the videos and stuff like that. Because if I want to do this full time, it's gonna take a lot. Um, so I would really appreciate that if you can just spread the word about my channel and like and subscribe and stuff like that. Because that helps the most. And again, if I'm disagreeing with your takes or you're disagreeing with mine, it's just a friendly chat. And I would genuinely do the same thing in person and just shoot the shit and just be, a friend in person as well. It's not like it's anything personal if we disagree. It's just talking. That's it. So, um, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little stream here. I appreciate you guys for always watching and supporting. But like I said, liking, subscribing, promoting with your friends or whatever else, posting it on Twitter, helps. So thank you. Appreciate it. And let's do this again soon. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.